So for me personally, I looked at the topic of saying how do we as women leaders contribute towards the emerging marketplace, both in terms of the economies. I think a lot of turbulence in the worldwide economy. I see this as a time of a lot of women participating in that economy at various corporate levels, at various social entrepreneurial level, and I think even at the home level or the house level, and what we are doing to contribute to our children and how we support our children and our even spouses to kind of bring them in and say, what is it that women will be doing? You know, am I creating a negotiating role with myself at home so that the spouses have a buy-in, that at different points I'm also a leader, I need to step back and work, step back from work. So with these three broad parameters, I look at us as women leaders really taking this time in our hands and saying there are really no barriers. What is a glass ceiling? I think last 10 years some of the conversation have centered around glass ceilings and saying, am I holding myself back? Is the organization holding myself back? And is there a support system that I need to go forward? I think not recognizing that you need a support system is incorrect, because you absolutely need that, and as women we recognize that we have several needs within ourselves. We feel the need to nurture our children. We feel the need to, be the super mom, make sure that we're there for every little thing that our child wants. But we also don't want that work balance or that leadership position to not be available to us. So we want to be perfectionists both sides. How do you do that? And I think no barriers thinking. I looked at flipping opportunities, flipping dilemmas. How to take a dilemma, which is having your child, having your home, having your own ambitious career needs on a social scale. How do you meet all of them? And the only way that came to me is you really need to say that I can do it. I don't have anything stopping me. I have to make my balance. If I look at constantly something outside of myself to find that balance, I may not get it, or I may not be able to appreciate even if I'm getting it, because I'm constantly thinking that there is an old vision of what a woman should do or should achieve or should not achieve. So I'm creating barriers for myself. And the moment you do that, for me personally over the last 4 years, the moment I started to say, okay, I can do this, this is possible, let me try it. If I don't make it work, if I can't make it work, I'll step back. And over the last 4 years, I don't think I've ever hit that barrier, which to me was an incredible find. That means I was creating that opportunity. I was breaking down barriers. And there wasn't a woman-centric thought in that. It wasn't that. Some of the really interesting literature around women leadership is, there are some common themes, and again, pitch in if you want to share those. But some of them are multitask. For example, they talk about women in the workplace being very good at multitasking. There is some negative press in the sense that women don't speak business language enough. They're not using the current business language that maybe a male counterpart may be using. So is that something women should incorporate in their vocabulary? I think that everybody has their own niche. It doesn't matter that you're going to look for a pattern of business language or you're going to look for, what is it that you didn't play. You have to play to your strengths, and if you find your own leadership style and you move along with a lot of people who are your support group, that's what creates the true leadership style that you're going to move forward with. Because the flip side of this leadership discussion sometimes is a leader alone. Are you making singular decisions? Can you have consensus? Can a leader show doubt? How many times does that come up? True. Can a leader show doubt? Because it's like you're not decisive, you're not precise. Why do you need literature to make a decision? You're a leader. Just make it. Use your instinct. And part of that is, you're afraid to maybe fail or maybe to show that you are somebody who needs a consensus. And I think that is another barrier I would look at and say that the moment we think that there are people who are participating in leading us into a leadership style, and there are people who are contributing into our leadership style, those will move us very much ahead. And we should not be afraid to share our fears with people, to say that I need advice, I need that. Because you will find that more often than not, people are understanding your leadership style and skills, and they're not going to treat you less or think of you as a less leader because you reached out for support or for help. Everybody needs that. What we should do is be open about what your leadership style is, and therefore within that style, be ready to take approvals from other people. Get a board of directors with you, who are your supporters at work and at any junction. It could be a women's support group like we're sitting with right now, it could be your close friends, it could be a spouse, it could be your co-workers, it could be a boss. I think everybody sees you for what you are, and the more times you test it out, the better you become at kind of making the right decision as you move ahead. So to me, these are the main 2 points I see as women maybe taking it to the workplace. So how do you apply that? Next question logically is, how do you use that in the workplace? I think you have to kind of test out the power of this in the workplace. There are small steps one can all take. Again, as I said, my testing ground was, I said, you know what, throw it my way. Give me the opportunity, I'm just going to do it. Whether I'm going to succeed or not, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, I'm just going to move ahead with that thought. So I think the small testing that we do with our environment around helps us kind of move in. And then I think we have a better vision of what is it the workplace that we want to invest in, what is the vision of the workplace we want to create, whether it's for our women within our group that we work with, whether it's the men that we work with. I think both are equally important. We need to move together as a team. And so one thing that we can also take back to our young leaders is that, can you help them to not make that mistake or wait that period? Because you know, some of this is experience, I think, yes.
Absolutely.
But you can also probably mentor a few women, men, whatever, again alike. If you recognize that probably on the women's side there is a little bit more need for mentorship. But I think again, both gender neutral, you could help to see, you know, what is it that they're waiting for permission? And is that a hypothetical situation only in their mind but doesn't really exist? So in terms of leadership, clearly I feel that, you know, if you have a leadership role and you are an influencer, then what is it that you can influence further to get to some of the points that we're talking about right now?
Absolutely.
And how can you bring some of those key messages and influence them in thinking and saying, am I still waiting for permission? To your young women leaders, you know, to recognize that within themselves. So we have learnt it.
Yes.
And you know, our duty is partly to pass that on
Yeah.
to them, and we can probably help them get to it sooner than maybe we did.